Trail Sheather and welcome to the channel. If you're new or you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out. It really helps us out with the channel growth, and when you like it also really helps us out with getting us into suggested video lists. Project TJ has been failing to proceed. It's been sporadic, it's been all over the place, and it will go for weeks without doing anything wrong. It's generally, when it happens, it just dies as if it's running out of petrol or there's been an electrical short. We get a check engine light, and you can just turn the ignition off, turn it back on, and off you go again. The way I do my diagnostics, I've got an Elm 327 Wi-Fi interface, which is just a cheap eBay thing. I've tried the Bluetooth versions of these, and they don't work with my iPhone, so I've got to use a Wi-Fi thing. With this, I use the Dash Command app from the App Store. It's a fairly low cost item, and I find that it does everything that I need. So with diagnostic issues, when this happens, this is showing no codes. However, it is showing that I'm having a catalyst monitoring problem, an oxygen sensor problem, and an oxygen sensor heat problem. It's all pointing towards that. I'm fairly sure the O2 sensors are okay. However, if we're going to replace the cats, it's probably a good time to replace the O2 sensors. Now, when replacing O2 sensors in these, they're a little bit iffy, I hear, with generic O2 sensors, and the go is to either use the genuine part or an NGK version. For the cats, I've gone back to MagnaFlow again because they sell a replacement pipe, front pipe, from the cast manifold to the cat back, and that includes, because mine's an 0506 model, that includes the two pre-cats just after the manifold and the third cat where it joins the cat back. It includes all the O2 sensor bungs, and it's made out of stainless steel. Now, I'm presuming these are a slightly high flow cat because MagnaFlow sells two versions of these, one for California, which I presume, because they've got quite tight emission laws, is an OEM quality, and they sell one that's 52 state legal, which I presume, and I'm presuming here, is slightly higher flow. This stuff looks fairly well made. It's a two-piece, whereas the OEM is one piece, and I presume they do that for packaging versions. So two bolts at the back where it bolts onto the cat back. That's the rear cat with a hanger, and the slip joint where it clamps together with the front piece. This is the front section. So we've got two new cats, four bolts that go onto the cast manifold, and that connects to the connector on the rear portion. So again, like most things with this thing so far, it's just like a big Meccano set. Not too difficult to use, parts are readily available, and to be honest, this thing wasn't all that expensive. I think it cost me just over 1,000 Australian dollars delivered, and a big whack of that was delivery, so more than happy. So once this is fitted, this will give us a complete stainless system from the cast manifold all the way back to the back of the car. It's all MagnaFlow then, it's all stainless steel, and cost has been fairly reasonable. I think delivered for everything, we're probably looking at a couple of $1,000 Australian, which for me here is an absolute bargain, because this sort of stuff we don't have available here, so I have to import it out of the US. But yeah, very happy with this stuff so far. So it looks as though it's a simple install, as long as the standard nuts come off okay and they're not welded shut. Before we even attempt to undo them, which we've had the cat back off, so we know 2 out of the 6 are okay. The ones on the cast manifold I'll spray with some WD-40 and hope and let it sit for a while, and hopefully they'll just come straight off. If that's the case, it should be an easy install. Yeah, just like a big Meccano set. Not that hard. Jeep's great. So let's get into it, let's install it, and hopefully all our issues go away. that was the old. So with the O2 sensors, in the 2005, 2006 models, we have 4. And there's 2 upstream, 2 downstream. They all have different part numbers. So, for bank 1, sensor 1 upstream, it's NGK 23018. For bank 2, sensor 1 upstream, it's 23160. For downstream sensors, bank 1, sensor 2 is 23159, which is this one. And for bank 2, sensor 2, downstream, it's 23158. 23158. Don't get them mixed up, fellas. So I've laid them out like that, so I can just come and get them one at a time. The bank 1 sensor 1 sensor is at the front of the engine. The bank 1 sensor 2 is on the bottom side of the cat at the front of the engine, and bank 2 is at the rear of the engine. So before we fit this, we'll fit the O2 sensors. So first one is 2359, and we'll fit that to bank 1 sensor 2. With these, we're just going to put a bit of copper slip grease on these. There's an anti-seize. Sensor 2 downstream is 23158, which is this sensor. Again, some copper grease on the threads as an anti-seize. Now when you do this up, you can buy an O2 sensor tool that's worth its weight in gold, because it does slip over the wires and goes down onto the thread without damaging it. To install. Now just to do the ones on the cast manifold. Okay. So we've fitted the upstream section of the exhaust. Can't say it was fun. Not a lot of room to put your hands and get the bolts in, but they're in. All new O2 sensors. O2 sensors are all connected up. Now just fit the back part and we're good to go. And that is all fitted up. We just need to do it up now. Woohoo! Hey guys. Well, this was all completed a couple of days ago and I've driven it to work 2 days in a row. The first day it ran fine. It's actually better than what it was, much better. But the first day it ran fine, got near the office and it started to play up again. I'm getting the same codes as I was before. That's O2 sensor heat isn't completing, oxygen sensor isn't completing, and cat monitoring isn't completing. When that happens, it plays up. So I've driven it to work today and it performed faultlessly. The cat monitoring ticks off, the oxygen sensor ticks off, and the oxygen sensor heat doesn't. But I'm not too concerned about that because that seems to be an issue with this car. There is a Jeep fix for that. there's a lot of detail with regard to that with guys trying to get smoked in California. But at this point I'm not concerned about getting that done. There is some drive cycles I can do that should fix that, and I may try that. So at the moment, I mean, don't really know what to do. I've cleaned out the throttle body this morning. It's definitely better than what it was, and it's stronger than what it was. It's idling better than what it was. So I'd say what we've done, some of it needed to be done anyway. But at this point we need to do a bit more research and see what we can come up with. If anyone's got a fix, please let me know. So yeah, there will be a part 2 of this. So thanks for watching. If anyone has any ideas, please get in touch. See you guys.